Hello everyone, we are going to continue with our Carnival of the Animals unit today. So I'm just going to put up our screen here so we can watch it. Let's see, there we go. All right, so again, in case you missed it or you forgot as well, we're talking about the Carnival of the Animals, which is a piece of music composed by Camille Saint-Saëns. Remember that French name, Saint-Saëns? There he is. And we learned a little bit about him, like he was born in 1835 and he died almost 100 years ago in 1921. And we talked a little bit about all those things that he liked. Last week we listened to the March of the Royal Lion. Remember how we started to think about how music can sound like animals, even though they're not actual animal sound effects in it, but just how does the music, how do the instruments sound like the animals? And we listened to the different pitch. Remember, pitch means, is it high sounds or is it low sounds? Tempo, remember, tempo is the speed of the music. Is it really, really fast or is it really slow? Staccato or legato, remember, staccato is really short and legato is long and smooth and connected. And then, of course, our dynamics, piano, which is quiet, and forte, which is loud and strong. So we already listened to that one, so we're not going to listen to that one today because we're going to move on to the hens and the roosters. So we're going to do two new animals today. The first one is the hens and the roosters. And the first thing I want you to think about is, how do you think a song about hens and roosters might sound? Think about what hens and roosters do. They cluck. Hens lay eggs. And think about how they walk. They kind of walk with like their head bobbing, so maybe they're something like that's in the music. They like to peck at the ground to get their food, get their corn or whatever they're eating, so maybe we'll hear some pecking, something like that. I will tell you some of the main instruments you hear are the clarinet, the piano, and the violin. And then think about this while you're listening. Can you imagine where the chickens are pecking at the ground or flapping their wings? So just like we talked about the pecking on the ground, we can also think about their wings flapping too. And here are those elements of music we were talking about: the pitch, the high or low, the tempo, the fast or slow, staccato short or legato long, and then piano and forte. So think about those elements of music while we listen to this new piece. And I believe, yes, we're going to get to see it. And I picked this one because there's this younger girl that's playing with them. And she's not an adult like the rest of them, so I thought that was really interesting. So let's take a look and listen and use your imagination to think about the hens and the roosters in this piece. Here we go.
Hens and roosters peck at the floor. They eat some seeds, then more and more, though sometimes that can be quite a bore. Hens and roosters like to scurry. It seems like they must get somewhere in a hurry. Who knows, someday these animals might have rocket boosters. But for now, these are hens and roosters. Hens and roosters.
All right. So that one is a really short one, just really quick, and I hope you could hear the violins that were playing super, well, what do you think, staccato or legato? I'm thinking they were pretty staccato. A lot of short bow movements with the violins and the piano. They were playing pretty short with their fingers. I think that was a pretty staccato one. Let's watch it one more time. And I want you to close your eyes a little bit this time and start thinking about those hens and roosters and maybe what else you hear. So here we go one more time. And there we go. All right, so one thing you might have noticed is that there were two pianists. There wasn't just one, there was two. And the orchestration for this piece, that means what kind of instruments make this up? What kind of instruments did Camille Saint-Saëns write for? He wrote this piece for a small group of strings, so violins, violas, cellos, and basses, but just a small group. Sometimes we'll watch videos of a larger group, like when we watched the Mormon Tabernacle Choir in the other video this week, that had a much larger string orchestra. So this is just a smaller string orchestra with some wind. So that's the wind instruments. So that's like the flute, the clarinet, the oboe, the bassoon, and then the trumpet, trombone, tuba, and French horn. They are there too. And there's usually one of each of those instruments. Sometimes there's two or three in a full orchestra, but since this is a smaller orchestra, there's only one of each of those wind instruments. But there are two pianos, which is not typical because usually there is only one piano. So that's something that's really interesting about this piece of music, is that there are two pianos in it. And that actually will come into play in this next song called The Horses, or The Donkeys of the Wild. There are two songs that are about horses or donkeys, and this is the first one. And sometimes the names are a little bit different. So that's why there's kind of two names for this. But this is the first one. And basically it's about two horses. And the horses are done by the two pianos. So let me put up some of the, let's see, there's the horses. So how do you predict horses will sound like? Think about what they do. Think about what they sound like. You can think about like their neigh or their whinny. And then are they going fast or slow? Are they galloping or trotting? Think about that. Instruments, like I said, it's a piano duet. Remember, a duet is two people, and it's a piano duet, so it's just those two pianos. There's no other orchestration in this one. It's just those two pianos. And you're going to hear all these scales. The scales go up, like up the piano, and then down the piano. So they're going to start low and get gradually up, or maybe they'll start high and get gradually down. So we got to think about which way they're going, higher or lower, up or down. And there's our elements of music. The pitch, is it high, is it low? Tempo, is it fast, is it slow? Staccato or legato, is it short or is it long? And then piano or forte, is it quiet or is it louder? So this one, unfortunately, I don't have a video to show you. I'm still looking for one. So if I find one after I finish filming this little video, I'll put it in at the end so you can see it. But I do have it so you can listen to it. So this is actually from a book. And let me see. Here we are, and I can hold up let me grab it. Okay, here's the book that I have, and I have not shown this yet because we've had so many other videos. So here's the book, The Carnival of the Animals, and if you look at it, and it came with a CD, so I'm going to play you the recording from the CD. So we just listened to the roosters and the hens. There's a picture that the author illustrated for it. And we're going to listen. This book calls it The Donkeys of the Wild. So I'm going to show you this picture, and we're going to listen to them. It's very short, so here we go.
donkeys of the wild. They haven't any manners, and they haven't any sense. There's not a word that anyone can say in their defense. Their ways are so unsavory they'll never get ahead. They are the donkeys of the wild. That's all that need be said.
So there
The
you
donkeys
go.
of the wild.
All right. So there's the horses or the donkeys of the wild. Both names are correct. It's a little bit since this was written in French, some of the names get lost in translation. So most of the animals are pretty clear, but this is one that's a little bit. Both names are correct. So that is it for today. Let's see. Next time we're going to talk about the tortoises, which are like turtles. So start thinking about how a turtle might sound in music. And you can also check out, I will attach your packet to it. Remember, this is what we got in our classroom. This one is mine. And we've got our hens and our roosters page and our wild horses page. So I'm going to attach those so you can see them. And if you want to, I don't know how hard it is to color on your iPad, but if you want to color it on, you can. And if you're one of Mr. Schaefer's kids that is always just learning and you have your packet at home, you can get that out and you could color with it too. All right? So we've got the hens and roosters and the wild horses. You can also circle up those elements in music that we were talking about a little bit earlier. So that's it for today, everyone. I'm so glad that you were able to come to my music class. And hopefully I will be able to see many of you next week again, and we'll get to talk about the next two animals that we're doing. So the tortoise is one, and you'll have to stay tuned to find out about the next one. All right, as always, send me a comment or a private message if you have any questions. I'm happy to help you, and I'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.